You're single still, right?
Yeah.
How you like it?
It's amazing. And as you get older, too, it's even better.
Yeah.
Because now you're even more set in your ways. And you're not putting up with any bullshit. You might have put up with it 10, 15, 20 years ago. All right, not anymore. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm so good.
Some chick, you want to go kayak? Nah, go yourself. Have fun. If you drown, I'll get in contact with your family. 20 years ago, I'd be, let me fucking tie one to the roof and go fucking kayak. Yeah, I'm good now. My testosterone's under 400. I'm not putting up with your bullshit anymore. I'm good. Go paint the garage yourself. I'll give you pussy if you go paint the garage. Nah, I'm good. I didn't even know we had a garage. I've been on the couch for the last 3 years.
Listen, I got a story to tell, actually. I was recently invited out to a friend of a friend's crib, right? And it was unbeknownst to me, at first at least, that I was in a room full of not only rabid feminists, but also pacified married men. The topic of gender roles came up, and I shit you not, one of the married women in the room said, women are smarter than men. And I stood back and I just watched. I was silent, right? Because I was looking at all the cackles and the laughing and the high-fiving of the women in the room and shit. Completely unchallenged or unabated from the happy wife, happy life, indoctrinated, tail between their legs, married men in the room. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, damn, feminists don't even understand how misandrist they actually are. So I finally decided to partake in the conversation and I ask a very simple question. If women are truly way more smarter than men, then why have they not built most of the world's technologies or most of the world's advancements in our society? Which I will admit is a logically inconsistent question to ask. The most logical question to ask them is, hey, have you seen the scientific studies regarding IQ regarding men and women? And you'll see that there's no statistical difference that the researchers found between both sexes. But I asked the question in that way because I wanted to throw just a little bit of fire in that bitch. And it just so happens it just wasn't a little bit of fire because I watched in the room as their worlds begin to burn in front of them, which concluded with one of the feminists yelling from the top of her lungs about how disrespectful that I am while wagging a finger in my face and then being escorted into another room to calm down. Modern day feminists think that affirming or supporting men based on truth is disrespecting or oppressing women. They don't want to fight for equality. They want to fight for their mouths to be heard and to have their echo chambers upgraded while diminishing the thoughts of anyone else who do not agree with them. This is the reality that both men and women of today's generations have grown up with. So much so that men are choosing to marry these man-hating misandrists, having to sit there and listen to that garbage and quell their inner manhood for a crack at love and consistent sex. Because I'll be goddamn if I risk the freedom in my singleness and my manhood to sacrifice that for what Disney lied to me about.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now. Because we are raising up women to be men.
Uh-oh.
And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you're climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away.
Who he sound like?
Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk back to me this morning.
Yo, even these preachers are taking risks nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm humbly surprised that so many people were applauding him, okay? A year or so ago, before the content in spaces like this, and hello, TD Jakes, we know you've been watching over here. This is exactly how you get men to come back into the church. You stop lying and pandering to them and begin speaking from a truth perspective. But listen to me when I say this, because I want to dive a little bit deeper than what TD Jakes is talking about. Traditional femininity has no value in a capitalistic market. Think about it. You can monetize hot girl summer 10 ways from Sunday way more than traditional girl summer or soft girl summer. And that's because female sexuality is easily monetizable. What do we already know? Sex sells. And that goes for both men and women. Shit, everybody loves a good pair of mammary glands. But the question is, who wants to marry a woman who shows her mammary glands to the world? Masculine and or high value men don't. But guess what? Most of these women want those guys. But listen to me when I'm saying this. Making women act like men was a money play. I mean, they literally got 50% more of the population to join the workforce, thereby increasing total GDP or gross domestic product, and thereby increasing the amount of taxable income. Because I'm all for equality of opportunity when it comes to feminism, but there hasn't been enough introspection on the consequences.
You know, we've adopted the grinding mentality, which if you look up the word itself, it means to wear down, to torment, to crush, to oppress. And that's why when you see most people who grind, they look wore out. You know, I work hard, but I rest hard as well. I take pictures now when I'm out. I see an elderly couple. Typically, the woman is peppy, ready to move, and you see the older man just on crutches or a cane can barely move. Because our whole worth, we feel, is in our work. I thought it was just black men who struggle with taking naps, but when I started speaking more, my white brothers, other brothers of different ethnicities coming up to me like, dude, when my wife come home, I jump up. I'm like, what is that? Because again, we feel that we're only good for what we do instead of who we are. Our family, our women in our lives try to love us. Our children want to affirm us. But because it's deep, we long for it so long, we don't even know how to receive it when we get it.
Feminists often vilify men for being the heads of households. The average blue-collar man that, let's say, works in a factory is not doing so he can come back home and oppress his woman. He's doing it so he can sufficiently provide for his family. But feminists have completely twisted the narrative to convince women otherwise. But the fact of the matter is that men are more likely to die early, get hurt on the job, or work themselves to death. One of the best lessons that I have learned over the past several months as I have experienced considerable hardship within my life is the benefits of balance. We're all gonna have ebbs and flows within our life, but you need to understand and be cognizant of when do you need to be in a flow state, and then when do you need to be in an ebb state and rest? Not too long ago, Kevin Samuel's autopsy report confirmed hypertension. That brother needed to be in an ebb state, but his relentless pursuit of pushing the narrative and the discussion forward led to his early demise.
Stop hoeing around all through your 20s. Stop hoeing around all through your 30s. You give your 20s to the street Negroes. You give your 30s to the pretty boys. They use you up, dog you out. Now you're in your 40s. And nobody's jumping to marry your ass. And so now you're saying it ain't no good black men. No. There's plenty of good black men. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. And now you see your biological clock is ticking and your beauty clock. See, you got a biological clock, how long you can have those babies, and you got a beauty clock. How long you gonna be looking good. A biological clock, how long you gonna have them babies, and a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good.
We got him.
And guess what? When you hit those 40s,
we got him, gents.
Don't get me wrong, black don't crack, but everybody declines. Black don't crack, but everybody starts to decline at some point.
Yo, we got Uber. Yo, sad is a show, Uber. Oh, man, yo, if only Kevin Samuels was alive to see this. Fun fact, Kevin and I actually spoke about Dr. Umar Johnson, and he liked the brother. They had a difference of talking points at a specific junction, but he actually thought it'd be dope to have a sit down at some point in the future with him. But you know, that demonstrates that brothers can disagree, yet hear each other out and figure out how to push the narrative of the discussion forward. But honestly, this space gets a lot of criticism for like bashing or tearing down women. Actuality, it's only because men actually care about women. As I've said it before, I can use a sports analogy. You talk the most shit about the team that you like. You're very critical of them, but that's because you want your team to perform better. But see, the difference between the team as opposed to the modern woman is that the criticisms onto the team, they might actually listen and implement within their game. But the modern woman just seems to buck up and act like, no, what are you talking about? Why are you outing all of our information like this? You're breaking code. I don't think that it's breaking code, and it's not bashing, and it's not tearing down. It's just you're really sensitive to criticism. But it's just so crazy because even Mr. King Khan Consciousness himself has been paying attention to this sector right over here and is now utilizing some of the talking points that were generated, created, and maintained within this space. It's really interesting and really dope to see.
So, without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, and share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR, he break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound when it's MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.